Hello, and welcome to another scene in London. This is, um, just a scene where Dakota's gotta go talk to the choristers about religious things, because nothing can go wrong with that. Um, but first, because she is just a little orphan in this big world, and tradition members can sometimes get a little nitpicky, and she doesn't know this new guy, she's, she's gonna call up Hannah.
You answer, and she says, and you hear hello?
Hey, it's me, Lily.
Oh, hey, Lily, how are you?
Well, yourself?
Oh, a little bit exhausted, but other than that, I'm good. What's up?
I have to go speak to a chorister. Would you mind coming along?
Why do you want to bring me to go talk to a chorister? Here, you know what? Actually, let's meet up in person. Where do you want to meet up?
She'll give you the address to a church.
And she'll say, alrighty. And by the way, here, I'll talk to you about it later. Have a good one, okay? I'll meet you there.
Okay.
See ya. And then she'll hang up. You might arrive there first. You wait maybe 5 minutes for her, and she shows up. And she'll say, oh, hey, there you are.
Hello.
By the way, you might want to use their nicknames over the phone. You never know who's listening.
She just kind of shrugs. I'll do that next time.
Here, I'll give you a notepad of what the groups are commonly called. Their little nicknames that we call them. That way we don't raise suspicion. Cool. She gives like 2 thumbs up, like a really cheery one. Absolutely. Are you kidding?
She'll nod.
All right, cool. So, why'd you want to bring me to these choristers here? Or with you? Ow.
Mostly because they're religious and I've had a bad experience with religion in the past.
She kind of, puts her head side to side. I get that. So, I can be your anchor. And she smiles.
Thank you.
Well, after you.
And she will slowly head up the steps. She is, with her cane and leaning on it, as always. And she does have her serval, which does have a service animal coat. I think they have the little coat harnesses.
I should probably describe the church. It's very it's not mega church huge, but it's pretty decently sized, and it's a very ornate. So let me see if I can find a picture of one that would work.
Tiger, can I use perception and meditation to reduce the diff to cast Aura Sight?
Sure.
Okay, so that's what she's gonna do. Which, can I do a breathing technique? I thought I gave her meditation 1. What the heck? Yeah, you go ahead with what you guys are gonna do. I gotta fix this.
Okay. Trying to find a picture that'll work for this. Here, this one part. Has some weird symbols in it. Shit. Sorry. One things up. I should have this prepared.
No, that's fine.
Here.
Hey, Tiger, I didn't even realize that I didn't put meditation on Hannah. I spent 3 experience to give her meditation 1. I could have sworn I gave her. It doesn't mean I have to have it now. Don't worry about it.
Okay. You can still roll for meditation.
Yeah.
Because it'll just be a +2 diff.
Yeah, I'll be +2, so I'll beat the fate. Oh, I got 2 successes. So I'll roll my right there, diff 3. I got 2 successes. So 1 to effect, and I guess 1 for the turn. I'll just do 1 more +1. And I got 1 more, so I'll put in 1 into effect, 2 for duration.
Okay, that works. So you got your aura set up.
Sweet. And she'll be walking in behind.
Are you using mind or spirit for that?
Mind 1. Mind 1.
Okay, just making sure. So when you guys walk in, the inside is also pretty nice. You know, you got the pews, what's that pews? Linoleum, all like down the aisle and everything. The podium way at the front. You know, little waiting room for all that and stuff, and be like in the little opening room. There'll be kind of an office off to the left with the door open with a little sign by the side that says Brother Hilltop.
She'll walk in there and just kind of gently tap her cane against the doorframe.
In a decently attractive looking man, brown hair, kind of cut short, creatures, frog, and everything. Will look up from his desk where he seems to be studying, probably a Bible or something, and say, "Yes, may I help you?"
I was told there was someone here that could help me with something.
He'll and who is it that you're looking for, if you don't mind me asking?
I didn't get a name, unfortunately.
And what is it that you need help with?
Bible verses.
Well, I'm sure there are a lot of people here that could help you with that, but since I'm here, I don't mind offering my assistance.
What's the nickname for choristers
Well,
again? OOC?
Door?
I completely forgot. I'm trying to find it here. Oh, they don't. For some reason, M20 they don't have the nicknames like they did for the other supernaturals. I'll try to find them.
Yeah, I thought the nickname was just like choristers.
It might have been.
Do you have any? I don't know. Choristers or anything like that?
And then Hannah will just
No.
kind of. Does he have sparklies?
He's clearly awakened.
Okay, so she'll kind of look to him and kind of give him like an affirmative nod, like it's cool.
He'll let's see, why don't you come close the door?
She'll follow him behind where Dakota was, and she'll close the door.
And there'll be a couple chairs for Hell to sit in. He'll just kind of gesture at them.
And then Hannah will at least take a seat. Thank you.
So
Yeah.
he will. He's going to mutter. Okay, yeah, maybe. He's going to mutter a prayer under his breath. It's gonna do and botched. Cool. So that's enough things about, I guess. He'll grumble, or he won't grumble, but he'll get that look whenever you strain your eyes by like reading too often. I'll just feel like, check this out. I'm assuming you two are in the know, as it were.
I think I would say so. Although I believe I'm more familiar with our traditions. Forgive me if I ever get confused. I get that way sometimes. But my friend here, she was the one who needed your help. I just thought I'd tag along.
Fair enough. Pardon me, for me not to introduce myself, I'm Jonathan Hilltop of the Celestial Course, but I assume you guys figured that out already.
I suppose so. Lily? She'll kind of say.
Oh, see, is this the guy that was on the rooftop?
Guy on the rooftop?
Yeah, the one we had to go get the other day?
Oh, no, I'm playing a different character now.
Okay.
I was having a hard time role-playing a mage who knows literally nothing about mage.
Okay. So she'll nod and say, yeah, I guess you could say I did some walking, was assaulted by some couch cushions. It's neither here nor there. I have a couple verses I could use some insight into. Okay. From what I've been able to gather, they were all from Revelations. And that they dealt with the apocalypse, but that was about it. So, there are 3 verses. When he opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain because of the word of God and the testimony they had maintained. Second one. The dragon stood on the shore of the sea, and I saw a beast coming out of the sea. It had 10 horns and 7 heads, with 10 crowns on its horns, and on each head a blasphemous name. And the last one. I watched as he opened the sixth seal. There was a great earthquake. The sun turned black, like sackcloth made of goat hair. The whole moon turned blood red.
He'll nod and say, well, they don't sound like the best things to run into.
That's what I was thinking.
He'll start thumbing through the Bible. Oh, thank you for checking this. um, so, I'm sure you know the seals about the general thing about the seals. Um, Generally, if they are and then judgment starts.
Oh, see, did you ask a question? Or are you thinking of what to say?
Because he's just like he's yeah, he said I'm sure you guys know what the seven seals. Whenever they're open, it's judgment. Um,
I believe I recall that. Although it seems a little bit foggy for me. Oh, see, would she know? Would a hermetic know about the seven seals?
More than likely, like angels and demons and stuff are pretty common.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Angels more so. Not. I don't see a lot of stuff about demons with the hermetics.
Like you probably know basic stuff,
Yeah.
but you wouldn't. He'll be looking through the Bible, looking a little bit worried.
In the Book of Revelation, right?
Right.
The document. So, what does? So I'm guessing those phrases have to do with those seals.
I believe so. Except perhaps the dragon and the beast.
It's a bit hard to hear you, Tiger.
Sorry, I'm mumbling because I don't know what I'm talking about. He said, I believe so. Except perhaps the dragon and the beast. I'm not terribly familiar with that section. It's not one that I've studied extensively.
Mhm.
There is a man, he was known as a devil hunter within the chorus, who has been teaching me, and he may know more about that. But he is out at the moment.
I see. She looked at to Lily to kind of read her face. And her aura.
It kind of seems like she seems distracted. Her aura is kind of reflecting that she's kind of distracted and a little anxious and nervous.
You alright?
Oh, yes, fine. She's totally lying, by the way. I'm just.
I'm fine usually means no, I'm not fine anyway.
I mean, you're right.
She'll just say, well, she'll look to the man. Will he be back in, or is there some way we can get in touch?
I'm not sure, honestly. I can. He'll like start going through the desk. Say, here it is, and I'll pull out a little business card for him.
She'll let, like, she won't take it, she'll let Lily take it.
Yeah, and she'll reach up and take it. Thank you. Oh, I'm Lily Broussard, by the way.
Nice to meet you.
So, these seals, I've never really cared enough to learn much about all of this and that with the Bible, so they're generally a bad thing, right?
They are the seals that seal an apocalyptic document. There's
Yes.
7 seals that hold them. If all 7 open, then it is a sign of the second coming, if I remember correctly.
Still not.
Okay, so wait, a piece of paper can start the apocalypse.
There are many things I could do, all sorts of things. You'd be surprised.
Lovely. I'm gonna have to go talk to the couch cushions again.
Couch cushions.
He says that like completely straight faced.
What does he say? Sorry? I missed that because some lights fell.
Oh, he said, I thought you said the couch cushions attacked you.
Well, they tried to, anyway. I climbed on a ladder, but then they started climbing up the ladder.
These are some dexterous couch cushions, dang.
Yeah. They also ate a sign.
A mine?
A sign.
Oh, a sign. That's... She just kind of almost chuckles to herself a lot, actually. And shakes her head.
Yeah, Dakota
Like,
looks...
oh, you.
Yeah, no, Dakota looks 100% like... She is not lying. Like, 100% like, serious. She'll just kind of look over at Hannah. Say, why are you laughing?
I guess it's just to say when you're part of the awakened world, you see and hear some crazy things.
I mean, if it makes you feel better, they weren't actually couch cushions.
In what sense?
Oh, they were little blobs of shadow that looked like couch cushions.
Ah, that makes a lot more sense. But then again, not many things need to.
Indeed. I have to go down there and check again, unfortunately, but it wasn't the couch cushions that said this verse, it was something else. And then it was chuckling.
Where, if you don't mind me asking, where did you hear all of this?
Oh, down in the tube. In the Shadowlands, of course.
Okay, to the tubes like the subway, right?
Yeah.
Like the tunnels.
Yes.
Yeah, the Tube is the subway of. That's one of the famous like subways in London.
Gotcha. Okay. You'll think a couple times. Well,
Yes.
if
My bad.
if you want help in the future with that, I wouldn't mind. Um,
Oh, really? Sure. I actually in 2 days I have my wife coming with either an oracle or a monitor to also help me figure out these verses if you wish to come along. Maybe we could take another trip down to the Tube and see if the couch cushions are still there.
sounds good. And I know the choristers kind of get a bad rep for the whole like being judgmental and stuff, but he doesn't seem to like take it any weird that you said wife or anything.
That he said.
That Lily said that she had a wife.
Ah, gotcha.
She nods. If I knew someone who had a greater grasp of Prime, we could possibly bring Hannah along if you wanted.
Shut up. I could keep watch out for you guys if you want. Just kind of hang around, see if anything's up and weird. I don't know. I don't have a means to communicate through to you, but I could find a way.
My or Mr. Milton might be able to assist with that. But I can ask him at the least.
She nods. Or if you have a greater grasp of spirit than I do, I am just below enough knowledge to be able to bring others into the Shadowlands, unfortunately. That could also work
I
instead
can.
of.
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, you go.
He'll say I'm unable to even bring myself across to other planes.
Oh, wait, he said he can't go across?
He cannot, yeah.
Okay. Then if you're hoping to get across, then we'll definitely need someone who I can either do a ritual with to create some kind of fetish to allow you both to travel through the wall, or someone who has a better grasp of spirit than I do, because you you can't go down into the tube unless either all the trains have stopped or you're in the Shadowlands. The tubes are the cars are like form fitted, so there's like no wiggle room, and it would be best no one gets hit with a train.
Right. Like I
That
said, I
definitely be
will
preferable.
get in contact with Brother Milton and see if he might be able to assist us in this matter.
Wonderful. In 2 days, Melissa will be finished, and she will grab the wraith with hopefully the knowledge. And after talking to whoever that might be, then we can take another trip to the tube. I will warn you that these couch cushions are not the friendliest, and they do try to eat you, but I think that they're blind.
He'll just nod and turn in his chair. Well, I prefer to not use it if I don't have to, and then he'll hold like by the sheath. It keeps it on the sheath, but he'll hold a very ornate looking saber
They might eat that. Like I said, I threw a sign. I don't know if your sword is any sort of magical or whatever, but might be best not to chance it.
If they're made of shadow, I might be able to help with that, but I would have to, of course, get across to help you.
She nods. Like he said, this Brother Milton might be able to help with that.
She'll nod.
So my only big concern is they were talking about how it, about the sixth seal opening. So if he meant that in a literal meaning, or it, I should say, then it's possible that there's only one seal left before the apocalypse.
They talk about how the end times are coming. The sixth seal, by the way, is that there are heavenly signs will come, if I remember correctly. Or that there's signs in heaven.
That is part of the verse. It is. I watched as he opened the sixth seal. They weren't changing it around to.
Sorry, I don't remember the specific verses. I suppose I studied it from a very academic perspective.
Like, he wasn't disagreeing with you. He's just saying like that's the literal
Oh,
verse.
okay.
Like, watch this. Yeah.
No, Hannah's just too polite. That's the problem.
Yeah.
But the Bible is a very symbolic piece of work. It may not be a literal piece of paper. It might mean something else.
I don't know. I'd just rather the end times not happen.
Understandable.
Well, and she just looks right at the chorister. Have there been any heavenly signs?
None that I've noticed.
Hopefully that's a good thing.
The earthquakes. She's like on her phone. I'm sure this is true. Earthquakes, sun darkens, moon turns red, stars fall, sky recedes like a scroll. So I think it might mean that that cosmic changes in the tapestry would occur if that were to happen.
Well, I guess if one of those things happen, we'll notice.
What told you this?
Oh, I don't know. I was testing out a few theories with the couch cushions, like throwing a sign at them and seeing what happened, and as I got closer to take the sign back because it was eating the sign, I just heard this voice say the verses, and I'd make comments like, "Hey, could you tell me a moniker or something? You sound like, one of those super religious dudes that are on the corner that are spouting all this nonsense about the end time. Could you tell me a name, what church you work for, maybe?" And it just laughed at me. I didn't see anything, though. That was the odd thing.
Either could be many things, but if it's giving you Bible verses, I don't know. Could be anything, really. Someone could have been scrying on you and sending you a message. Someone could have been with you in the room. Could have been a spirit.
Could have just been somebody playing with her.
That's true too.
Hmm. Curious. Then Dakota will look at Hannah and she'll just kind of say, "Isn't your little carnival friend planning on going back down to the tube with the tech priest?"
Carnival friend?
Carney.
Ah, that apparently is a plan, yes. I've been doing research before that happens. I suppose you could come with us if you want. I don't see why not. More people, the better.
See, the only time I'll go around playing in the tubes is when I'm in the Shadowlands, because I fit in there.
They
Unfortunately,
apparently have a mean. They know some contacts. They might be able to temporarily have the tube shut down or go when it's closed.
but the thing is, if we spend too much time back in there and they start running again, or the trains start running and then we need to run, she'll just kind of look down at
This
her
is true.
cane.
This is true. That's a very good point. Well, you could keep an eye on us from the Shadowlands. Maybe see what you see on your end.
True. Where you guys need to go, as I said, the couch cushions are there, and I had this very ominous feeling that if I went any farther past the couch cushions, I would have died.
Spooky. If only I could go in there with Prime to see what that looks like.
You wanna see how it looks?
How so?
I can grant you the sight.
Oh, when we have to go in the tube?
Yeah. And I'll warn you, don't stare at the wraiths too long, because then when they figure out that you can see them, they tend to start bombarding you with pleas and other things. Because they want help. Or they just want to be annoying. And then they
When
get
I
really
have to,
malicious.
wouldn't I have to be in the same vicinity of where this is within the tube in order to see?
Yes, there are wraiths down there. As long... Okay, there's a junction down there. And that's where the couch cushions are. But everywhere else, there are still wraiths in the tube from the people who have gone down there to commit suicide. Or have collapsed when the tunnels were being built, or, sorry, where the tunnels have collapsed on them, and other things like that.
I see. So, I guess more what I was saying was if these couch cushions, if I could take a look at it if I use this little nifty trick to be able to see the magical effects, maybe we can figure out what that might actually be. That feeling of death.
She kind of snaps her fingers and goes, "I did not think of that. I could have looked too, and I completely forgot about that. Oh well."
You have the capacity to see with Prime.
I'm a... And she'll give whatever the level 2 game term is.
Initiate.
Yeah. Say I'm an initiate in Prime.
Ah, there you go.
Unfortunately, I was a little bit too busy trying not to get eaten.
That's completely fair. Well, you could just try and go in there again and see what happens.
Um, I'll tell you what. I'll go home and I'll create a pair of sunglasses that will allow you to see into the Shadowlands. And I'll bring them to you.
That'd be great. Thank you. Brother, what? So can I get a reminder of who this individual was again? She'll open up a notebook if we wanted to know more about these seals.
Brother Stephen Milton.
Brother Stephen Alto. Thank you.
MILT1. Anything with him? As I said, he's a devil hunter. One of us who goes out and hunts dark singers. The Fond Evil like.
Brave soul.
There's a certain degree of paranoia there.
Don't blame him in that great regard.
But I will let him know that you will be trying to get a hold of him, so he'll be somewhat prepared.
That's good. Hopefully that will help ease his tension.
Will either of you like a cup of tea before you go?
I'm good, thank you.
No, thank you.
I apologize for not being more help, but as I said, that's not that part in depth very much.
Oh no, it was fine. You were plenty of help, actually. A lot. If you ever need a favor or anything of the sort, I'll be happy to help in whatever way I can.
So I would say, yeah, that is appreciated. I'll keep that.
She'll nod and kind of smile and say, my specialties are wraiths, and more wraiths.
I'm more used to speaking with angels, but so I suppose if you need someone to speak to angels, I can help with that.
She nods. Well, thank you for your time.
If you need anything else, I'll pull out another business card and send it over. My number's on there. Both this office one and my self.
Thank you.
I'll hand a copy to Hannah as well.
Thank you. And hey, if you ever need the help of a fellow tradition member, she'll again rip a piece of paper, put her she won't put her middle name, but she'll put Hannah Leoy OOH and with her number.
Okay.
Thank you for your time. We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Have a pleasant day.
You too. And then she'll head on out and wait for Lily.
Yep. Lily will head out as well.
And then she'll head out of the building. She'll follow her out of the building. So that went well.
Oddly enough, yes.
Yeah. She'll kind of tilt her head side to side. They're not like they're interesting people.
I suppose you could say that.
I suppose we all are. That's the point, huh? So perhaps too general of an adjective. I She kind of looks at you, and then she starts, clicking her fingers together. And she's like struggling to say something. Then she says, "So, what would you like to do now?"
I'm not sure. I was honestly planning on going home and brooding. She smiles.
Well, it was. Would there be like a pathway to the tube on the way to her home, Tiger?
Probably.
So just say, I haven't taken the tube more lately. We could quickly head through the tube, and maybe maybe there'll be something interesting we might be able to see.
That's possible, yes, but I. mm, She's kind of pondering right now.
Or we could brood together.
I mean, that's also true.
No.
Like I said, that's entirely up to you. I was probably just going to go home and play a bit of piano and brood and wait for Melissa to show back up. Hopefully with the Wraith.
Who's Melissa, if I may ask?
Oh, my wife.
She nods. Ah, yes, I think you talked to me about her.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she didn't want me going into the necropolis for some reason, and said that
What?
the necropolis.
What necropolis did you want to go to?
The necropolis? The one in London?
You want to go to necropolis?
Yes, that's where the guild members are, and I need to speak to an oracle or a monitor.
Ah, okay. I was just about to say, I heard some students say that they wanted to explore one, and they kind of just wanted to do it for the novelty of it. And then she kind of widens her eyes. That was a strange day.
That's kind of odd, because Okay, well, I'll be honest, I kind of want to wander around it for the novelty too, but Melissa told me not to until she gets and she'll throw up air quotes, adventuring party for me to go with, which I
Probably.
think just sounds like me getting in debt with a bunch of wraiths.
Well, I don't know how the boons and economy of wraiths work, but if that's something you really want to do, it's probably worth it.
Oh, yeah. There are these little coins that they have that are made out of other wraiths. That seems to be a good currency.
I didn't know. Oh, I didn't know about that little nugget of information. That's actually really interesting.
Mm-hmm. If you want to learn more about wraiths, I could give you what little I know. Melissa would be better for that sort of knowledge, though, considering she is one.
Interesting. Well, that's if she trusts me with the information.
That's true. And of course, knowledge for knowledge.
Knowledge for knowledge. That's fair. Well, unfortunately, with the way things work in my order, I'm usually not at liberty to say what I can and can't reveal. So that's the unfortunate barrier. But at least, hey, things are kept secret.
She rolls her eyes, but it's so exaggerated.
I know, but hey, I don't want Quasitoria coming on my ass.
You want to know how you can get out of all of that?
What?
Not be in one of those traditions?
Oh no, I wouldn't. If I left, they would probably erase all the information I have on them
And
before I
you
could
don't
leave.
find that a little sketchy?
Oh, it's absolutely sketchy.
Then why join?
I didn't have much of a choice.
They forced you to join the tradition.
I grew up with it. It's kind of like how you grow up with public school and your parents tell you to go. I was told to go study high Theurgia and Goetia and all sorts of different Hermetic teachings. I read the Corpus Hermeticum. I learned about the angels and the supernal world as if I was learning about astronomy in science class.
I wish they would have tried that with me. I would have shoved my cane up their ass.
She just kind of she just kind of tilts her head to the side and almost does a little bit of a like, oh, see, it's the expression of yeah, sure,
She gives Hannah this look of like, are you seriously doubting me?
She kind of depends on the house, I guess.
She lifts the cane up. Like, I'll be honest, I've heard a lot of nasty things about you guys from the other orphans around here. Doesn't seem good.
Well, it's honestly, things are actually a lot better than they used to be. Finally.
I mean, obviously
but
not.
I don't blame people. But I don't. Most of the traditions practice this. It's basically a means of ensuring that different means and routes and advantages that those traditions have are kept secret. And it's not like they erase your memories there; they just erase the facts. And it's, usually they tell you that up front. Usually, but usually it's a practice that you're told of beforehand and that you're supposed to say before you join. And this isn't necessarily true for all of them, but for most. Honestly, in a world where there's secrets are incredibly valuable, it's almost a necessary evil, unfortunately. Unfortunately, I don't believe to. I'm always of the mindset, though, that if you have to do necessary evil, you should also find a way to make it, to find a different solution. Unfortunately, hubris gets in the way.
Hannah, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Anytime I even think about joining one of these traditions, just smack me.
She'll smile.
Because it's very obvious that if I were to ever do that, I am losing my mind and need to have some sense smacked into me. Because that honestly sounds like jail in a very loose way. It's like,
Oh, maybe for my order, but not necessarily for the others. For the others, you actually get quite a bit of freedom. Otherwise, a lot of them have a very even anarchistic kind of organizational structure.
it still does not sound pleasant because I enjoy free will.
That's totally fine.
I was thinking hollow ones, but they're so... just no.
I remember meeting one. Well, a friend of mine helped me understand. By the way, see, Tiger, this is true, right? About the whole mind wiping thing. That's a completely accurate thing that the traditions practice. I don't want to get that wrong and give Dakota misinformation.
You say mind wiping thing?
Yeah, mind wiping information and secrets that you know about the traditions and stuff like that. If you want to leave one.
It depends on the tradition.
Well, yeah, so she said not everyone does it, but fair enough.
Yeah.
She shrugs. But then again, if you did have to join one, not all of them do it. So it's really up to you. Some of them don't even really have secrets to share.
That still sounds horrible. It's kind of like, congratulations, you have joined the super old tradition, and you have to now learn all of its history and follow its views, and then you have these crotchety old bastards at the top who get to try and tell you everything. It's kind of like, no thank you.
Hey, I don't blame you.
Anyway, probably not best to be speaking about this in front of a church.
Well, I imagined that we were walking and talking. I don't know. Up to you. But she'll say, fair enough. Let's go. But no, for the most part, you know, that's the weird part about all of this. It's very, very difficult to tell if you're... There's a lot of factors into play in all of this stuff. One of the biggest reasons why people even join these groups is because where I came from, it was very necessary. There were all sorts of... The technocracy especially was everywhere, and if you didn't have friends, then you didn't really last long. So that's usually why people join these things. Eventually, as much as you like the free will, you need friends.
See, I don't know, because then you have to balance, freedom and death with being ruled over by a bunch of grouchy old people.
Oh, there are far fates worse than death, my friend, with the technocracy. They don't try to kill you all the time. They try to take you, and then they try to convert you into their ways and mindsets. And then you have to be in some place that's far, 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 far worse, and far more hierarchical, and something with far more control. See, that's why people join these traditions. Because in the awakened world, sometimes you wish for death. Because more than likely, there are other fates bound headed right for you. But I don't mean to scare you. But I guess I'm just trying to communicate the gravity of things.
I go walking in the Shadowlands for fun. I don't think you're really gonna scare me. I understand there are fates worse than death, but sometimes that might even be better than joining one of these traditions. I don't like anyone messing with my mind simply because I choose to leave them. It's stupid.
Oh, who knows? Maybe you can make that point, and eventually over time the idea spreads around, and maybe it won't be that way anymore. Oh, damn. Sorry.
Well, so what's next? I believe, I should probably go home and start working on those sunglasses now that I think of it.
Probably a good idea. with your adventures on there, is there anything that I could potentially make that could help you?
Not really. Most of the wraiths see me as another wraith. I'll be quite honest.
Interesting.
I have this. Let's call it a gift. I look like a wraith when I'm down there. Just one unaffiliated with any guild, of course.
Interesting. That's pretty cool.
It was quite a shock to me the first time I went over there. I started freaking out, thinking I was dead.
Oof. Yeah, that can't be nice.
Well, it was certainly a day. I'll tell you that much. But anyway, these are old things.
She nods. Anyway, Lily. It was, it's always good hanging out with you.
You too.
She'll nod her head. Well, you have my number. If you need anything, I'll see you another time.
You too. Thank you for coming with me.
She'll nod. And then she'll start. She'll wave to the cat.
And Ayala will kind of flick her tail back in that kind of lazy I acknowledge your existence kind of thing, like some big cats do.
Mm-hmm. She'll wave and then she'll head back home.
As will Dakota. I think that's it. So, thank you players for playing. Thank you watchers for watching. Sorry for taking up so much of your time, Tiger. That took way longer than 5 minutes, like I was expecting. It's been another scene. See ya.